The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been invited by Brazil for a state visit and a state dinner as a chief guest on the sidelines of the BRICS Summit. Reports suggest China's Xi Jinping felt ignored and sidelined and has decided to skip the BRICS Summit for the first time in 12 years. The Brazilians have expressed displeasure over Xi Jinping's absence. Is this a sign of cracks emerging? Meanwhile, India's Akash air defense system has sparked major interest in Brazil after its impressive show in the recent India-Pakistan war. India's defense exports to Latin America will be in focus as Prime Minister Modi kicks off his five-nation tour to Ghana, Trinidad and Tobago, Argentina, Brazil and Namibia from July 2nd to July 9th. But the big focus is the BRICS Leaders Summit and Prime Minister Modi's state visit to Brazil on the 6th and 7th of July. Prime Minister Modi elaborated, quote, "I am confident that my visits to 5 countries will reinforce our bonds of friendship across the global south, strengthen our partnership in both sides of the Atlantic, and deepen engagements in multilateral platforms such as BRICS, the African Union, ECOWAS, and CARICOM." Now, this will be Prime Minister Modi's 4th visit to Brazil. In a post on X, the Indian Embassy in Brazil stated, quote, "Ambassador Dinesh Bhatia presented credentials to President Lula and discussed deepening of bilateral strategic partnership as well as PM Narendra Modi's upcoming participation in the BRICS Summit, followed by state visit to Brazil." According to ET, India's ambassador to Brazil, Dinesh Bhatia, also held discussions with the Minister of Defense for Brazil, Jose Muccio, about deepening bilateral ties. This has sparked massive speculation on social media whether any major defense deal might be announced. Even the Ministry of External Affairs Secretary P. Kumaran admitted Brazil has expressed its strong interest in collaborating with India in the defense domain. He specially named the Akash air defense missile system and the Garuda artillery guns.
They also seem to be interested in the Akash air defense system.
Adding, quote, "They also seem to be interested in the Akash air defense system and coastal surveillance systems, Garuda artillery guns, and so on." Discussions are also underway on secure battlefield communications, offshore patrol vessels, and India's tech expertise for Brazil's Scorpene submarines. Developed by the DRDO and manufactured by BDL and BEL, the Akash air defense system is a medium-range, mobile surface-to-air missile system with a range of 25 to 45 kilometers and speeds of Mach 2.5. This defense system demonstrated vital capabilities during India's Operation Sindoor during the India-Pakistan face-off. It successfully intercepted multiple Pakistani drones and missiles during the conflict. According to reports from India Sentinels, the Akash missile system is actively evolving with new versions. DRDO achieved a significant milestone in 2024 by test-firing Akash New Generation or Akash NG missile with a reported 80-kilometer range at the Integrated Test Range in Chandipur, Odisha. Reports state that the Akash Prime and Akash NG are either in their production or testing phases. The Garuda 105mm artillery gun is a lightweight, mobile system from Bharat Forge. Business Today reports that it was successfully air-dropped by the Indian Air Force for trials this year, and it has also received acceptance of necessity approval. Its application is viewed as particularly useful for rapid response and coastal deployment scenarios. Former Brazilian ambassador Renato Correa de Lago was stated in Financial Express, stating back in 2023, quote, "The defense and security are central components of the plan of action of our strategic partnership with India. Our two countries are complementary in this area," unquote. Ministry of External Affairs Secretary Kumaran points out that defense equipment is not the only area that Brazil is interested in. It appears that they also want to collaborate in co-development. The two countries seek potential joint ventures in research, technology sharing, training exchanges, and support for Brazil's substantial aerospace industry led by Embraer. According to a report in BT, India's defense exports have doubled in FY 2024-25 to 24,000 crore rupees with a target of hitting 50,000 crore rupees by 2029. This steady rise of India's defense manufacturing sector has drawn Brazil's renewed interest to partner with New Delhi. Brazil's interest in offshore patrol vessels, coastal surveillance systems, and seeking India's expertise in Scorpion submarine tech is due to its strategic ambition to strengthen its own naval and aerial defense architecture. Brazil's Defense Secretary Rui Mesquita elaborated, quote, "Some areas of collaboration include exchange of information and military technology cooperation in capacity building and training, building partnerships in development of defense systems and equipment," unquote. The two countries have held multiple high-level talks. Just last year, it was being reported that Brazil may consider India's indigenous fighter jet, the LCA Tejas, as a barter deal. This apart from discussions on AWACS, submarines and BrahMos missiles. Multiple high-level Brazilian dignitaries have visited India to deepen strategic ties over the recent years. According to a report from Reuters, India and Brazil are expected to sign two very pivotal pacts during Prime Minister Modi's strategic visit. The first one is on counter-terror cooperation, and the second on safeguarding sensitive and classified defense information. These agreements aim to lay a formal legal foundation for joint defense production and acquisition of defense tech in the future. Economic Times and TOI report that during BRICS Summit 2025, Prime Minister Modi aims to also position India as a champion of international anti-terror efforts and voice of the global South, with bilateral and multilateral implications. The Prime Minister will focus on key global issues including reform of global governance, peace and security, strengthening multilateralism, responsible use of AI or artificial intelligence, climate action, global health, and economic and financial matters. Prime Minister Modi will hold detailed discussions with President Lula during his state visit to Brazil on the sidelines of the BRICS Summit. These would focus on trade, defense, energy, space, technology, agriculture, health, and people-to-people linkages. The five-nation tour is Prime Minister Modi's longest foreign visit in the last 10 years and only his second ever five-nation tour. The last one in 2016 included visits to the United States, Mexico, Qatar, Switzerland, and Afghanistan. Prime Minister Modi will be in Ghana on July 2nd and 3rd to hold talks with President John Mahama. He aims to build on India's historic relations with Ghana. During his visit, he will hold bilateral discussions in areas such as investment, energy, health, security, capacity building, and development partnership. He is also expected to address the Parliament of Ghana. Prime Minister Modi stated, "Ghana is a valued partner in the Global South and plays an important role in African Union and the Economic Committee of West African States." Next, he will fly to Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister Modi highlighted how 2025 is the 180th anniversary of the arrival of Indian indentured laborers in the country. He added, "This visit will provide an opportunity to rejuvenate the special bonds of ancestry and kinship that unite us," unquote. Prime Minister Modi's next visit is scheduled to be in Argentina, marking the first bilateral visit by an Indian Prime Minister in 57 years. Modi says that Argentina is a vital economic partner among the Latin American countries. Additionally, they have been close collaborator in the G20 as well as extending support to India's counter-terror operations after the Pahalgam terror attack by a Pakistan-based terror group. In Argentina, Modi will, quote, "focus on advancing our mutually beneficial cooperation, including in the areas of agriculture, critical minerals, energy, trade, tourism, technology, and investment." On his way back home from Brazil, Modi will stop at Namibia and address the joint session of Namibian Parliament. Modi hailed the opportunity, saying, quote, "It will be a privilege to address the joint session of Namibian Parliament as we celebrate our enduring solidarity and shared commitment for freedom and development," unquote. Now, there will be no Modi-Putin meeting at the 2025 BRICS Summit, however. The Russian President Putin will not be attending the summit due to an arrest warrant by the International Criminal Court.
Two warrants of arrest in the Ukraine situation for Vladimir Putin.
Brazil, being a signatory to the ICC, complicates matters for Putin. The last BRICS Summit in Kazan, Russia, had seen Putin help break the ice between Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping, which led to cooling of tensions at the LAC border in Ladakh after a near 4-year military standoff following the Galwan Valley clashes in 2020. With Xi Jinping and Putin absent, the focus will be entirely on India and Brazil, which also happen to be the two leading contenders for the next permanent seats in the United Nations Security Council. So what do you believe? Should India and Brazil forge a new alliance for defense and tech? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.